if we go on looking for a savior, when the savior is looking back from at us from the mirror, then we're going to be all the time giving our power away. Well, I have this phrase, know the outcome and you'll see the journey. And if you don't know the outcome, then the daily journey could seem like random events. But when you know the outcome, the daily events become stepping stones to the outcome quite clearly. This is a turning point, a pivotal moment for everyone. And we have to choose what road we want to go down. And there's going to be some very, very, very hard choices. You know, we are being challenged on a massive scale, and we are seeing this division of society between the awakened and the fast asleep. And they are two very different societies. And it's so important that people form groups together, support groups. What tends to happen, I've had this in my life anyway, that if you make a decision that you're not going to do something and you're not going to cooperate, there would seem to be consequences for that, of doing that. But if you stick by it, things tend to happen where those consequences can be overcome. If you have a series of doors, but you're only focused on one, and these doors are opportunities and other ways of living and other ways of doing things, but you're focused on this one, and you're banging it and it doesn't open, and all these other doors are flying open, saying over here, no, this one. And what happens when you face these kind of decisions where this door is closed and it's absolutely not going to open, which is what is going to be done big time to the non-fake jabbed, then these other opportunities start to appear, especially if you change your stance, change your energetic field. Just after the turn of the millennium, I got intuitively so strongly that because a lot of the stuff comes to me through that means, because intuition is your connection to higher levels. I got that we live in a fake reality, which is a simulation, and that the walls of the simulation are the speed of light. And back in May, I think it was, a Scientific American ran an article by some guy with letters after his name, saying that the evidence pointed to the fact that we live in a simulation and its outer limit is the speed of light. It's all these years later. And it is. The speed of light is not the fastest speed, it's pedestrian. But note that if any scientist comes out with claims that the speed of light is not the fastest speed of light, the roof comes down on them. Because the matrix operates within the speed of light, the electromagnetic spectrum, what we call light, electromagnetic light. Basically, the simulation controls perception. And it gives a sense of limitation for a start. And this is the point that I would make. And I do have enormous evidence for this from personal experience. Beyond the walls of the simulation, the speed of light. And by the way, that's why things go very strange when you get to when you get to the speed of light, things get very strange. Time changes, everything changes. Because time actually is a manifestation of the simulation. There is the world beyond, or reality, infinity beyond the simulation is in a no time now. It's very difficult to get your head around that when you're perceiving time all the time. But it is a no time world where everything happens in the same now. But so when you get to the speed of light, everything starts to change. Why? Because you're reaching the edge of this simulation. You remember in the Truman Show when Jim Carrey's character eventually realizes that he's in a fake reality, and he finds the edge of the dome, and he opens the door and he walks out. Well, that Truman Show set is symbolic of this simulation, and it controls your sense of perception. Now, the dots connect the more we speak. The way we interact with this simulation is through the five senses. They're decoding the simulation. So if they hold you in the five senses, like I said earlier, which is the whole foundation of what the cults are doing, then you are in the simulation and of the simulation. When you go into expanded states of awareness, you go beyond the walls of the speed of light, which is pedestrian, into expanded states of consciousness. Suddenly, you're no longer influenced totally by the information that you're receiving from the simulation. You've got other sources of information, and like I said earlier, I have enormous experience of this personally. You go beyond the simulation, and the world is just love. Beyond this, the world is love. Where do we go when we, quote, die? When I have this phrase: the body has a cycle, we have eternity. And the body cycle, the body connects us to the simulation. When the body cycle is over, that which has been experiencing through the body, which is consciousness, the eternal part of us, leaves the simulation. And because the body is no longer processing information in a way that we call human, then suddenly the reality changes dramatically. I've read hundreds and hundreds of accounts of near-death experiences, and the common themes are fantastic. And you go into a world that's very different from this one, a world of love and joy and bliss. You don't meet many near-death experiences that want to come back, but they think, well, I've got to come back because there's still something to do. Yeah, what I'm saying is that don't let's get fooled by the fact that this world, this reality, and what goes on in it currently, and through known human history, is how reality is in general. It's not. This is a really extreme place because this Wetiko consciousness makes it an extreme place. It makes it a manifestation of itself. And because Wetiko is actually fear, that's what it is. It's that brought fear into the world. That's why it uses fear and gets people into states of fear, because there is then an attachment, a frequency attachment, because fear is going to attach to fear on the same frequency, and the possession can take place. If you can't reach a vibrational level that takes you beyond the walls of the matrix, then you'll go to other levels of the matrix. And maybe this is the purgatory that some people talk about. There are other levels of awareness beyond this one that are running an operation to bring this control system down. They're doing it through people here, which they have to, but there's a massive operation going on from higher levels of awareness that are saying enough, enough, no more, gone too far. And they work through people. And, there's a massive number of people who have come into this world. Some are obvious, some are less obvious. Coming into this world in this period to play a part in bringing an end to all this. The body decodes information, the body brain, within a certain band of frequency. And that band of frequency, through the five senses, basically relates to what we call form. So if it's form, if it's the frequency of form, the five senses will decode it. In other words, we will see it. But anything deeper into the energetic field, the frequency field, that's beyond that band of frequency, the body brain won't decode it and therefore won't see it. And how this manifests in our reality is that we see form and we see empty space between it. And it's not empty space. If you go deeper into that field, you see what I call the field, that all form and all humans, everything is connected by you could visualize it as a Wi-Fi field. It's a field of consciousness, information, possibility, probability that we are interacting with. Now this cult, this Wetiko cult, wants to dominate that field, and at this level it's the field of the simulation. And it wants to hold the field in a low vibrational state because that is going to influence the population, the people, the target population, to go into those low vibrational states. It's a simple thing. If you want to affect all the fish at the same time, then you don't target the fish, you target the sea, and then you've got them all. So it's this sea of energy consciousness that connects everything, connects all of us on a level that we can't see. That this Wetiko cult is targeting. It wants to keep it in a low vibrational state. So the more that they can get people into states of fear, anxiety, depression, all these low frequencies, anger, conflict, and etc., hatred, the more they are generating that low frequency energy into the field, and that field is then affecting everybody else. And you feel this field all the time. You can you can go into somewhere where this field is particularly not very nice, and you kind of get the chills. Oh dear, what's happening here?